So listen well and hear the call, and long life to those who keep the jungle law. Wait, this isn't that live action Disney adaptation of the Jungle Book? Well, this is the new one. Got it. Hello, it's the Curious Flo back with another video. So today I'm going to be talking about Disney's newest live action adaptation of the Jungle Book called The Jungle Book. This version, as opposed to the version I was quoting earlier, is more a direct adaptation of the cartoon version of the Jungle Book, the 1960s version that was made back in the day. And now they're bringing it to life for us with amazing results. Now, if any of you have been following me on social media, I have not exactly been excited for this movie. I am not a big fan of Disney making all of their cartoons into live action versions. I think it is unnecessary. I still think that this movie is not necessary, but that does not mean that it's not good. I was not a fan of the Alice in Wonderland take that they did, and I can't believe it's getting a sequel. I was not a fan of Maleficent. I think that was ridiculous. Cinderella that they did last year was okay, I'll admit. It was very good, but again, it was not necessary. This was a little bit more of a different take than maybe the Cinderella version was that they did last year. That was basically just taking exactly the cartoon and bringing it to screen. They added a couple little scenes here and there, and took out a couple scenes here and there, but this really was the 1960s, the Jungle Book, brought to live action, and I put that in quotes because it's obviously a live action child and a couple other people, maybe spoilers a little bit, but yeah, everything is CGI, everything is animated. It's gorgeous. This movie is so pretty. I know a lot of people have specifically been wanting to know my take on the movie because of how kind of outspoken I've been about how I feel about this movie and live action Disney movies in general. It was good. It did exactly what it wanted to do. I think most of the casting was brilliant. I think it was a gorgeous movie. I think the little kid who played Mowgli was just adorable. All the little wolves, that was probably the section that they kind of expanded on the most. They made the wolves a bigger part of the actual story. But I hesitate to give this a bad review because of my own personal feelings about live action Disney movies and stuff like that. It's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I have a couple little gripes that I'll get to in a second, but yeah, overall this movie was great, even if I personally feel like it wasn't necessary. It is well done. I think partly due to the fact that Jon Favreau directed, and I think he is a great director and he did amazing work with this, but there's nothing really that new here. They added scenes here and there, like I said, but I feel like this is the same sort of gripe that people have with movies like Avatar, and that was actually Pocahontas, which was actually Dances with Wolves, and it's just, except this isn't even trying to hide behind it. It's exactly the same plot. There's no new twist on it. And I could be, again, even a little bit biased, even beyond that, because I am a huge fan of the 1994 Jungle Book that Disney produced that is a completely different story, and in my opinion, even a much better movie than this one was, and actually used real animals and just real everything. But getting beside myself, we are talking about this live-action Jungle Book, not the old live-action Jungle Book. So my couple of gripes real quick. The main one would be that I don't really think the songs worked. Bare Necessities worked all right. I believe that one was a little bit more organic and it made a little bit more sense. They kind of faded into it and faded out of it just as quickly. But the song that King Louis sings was not amazing. The entire scene leading up to that was very menacing. I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And then he started quoting things, and I know the songs very well because I'm a huge Disney fan. He started quoting things from the Disney movie that are in the song, and I was like, oh no, oh, here we go. And then we went, and it was a little bit silly, and then the song was over, and we moved on to more very menacing things that were happening. It just felt very out of place. I will say that the credits do a little bit of a reprise of that song, and that was amazing. I think they could have stuck with just that song being in the credits, the way it was done in the credits, and it would have worked perfectly. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. And that was my biggest gripe with the movie, was at pretty much everything to do with King Louis. I am not the biggest fan of Christopher Walken. Please feel free to yell at me in the comments about how wrong I am, but that's just my personal take. If you like him, that's fine. I tend to not enjoy him in pretty much anything I see him in. I feel like he is extremely gimmicky, and people cast him simply because he's interesting, I guess. I don't know. I don't really enjoy him. That being said, up until he started singing, I was actually like, okay, I'm okay with this. He's doing okay. It works for the type of character that he's playing, but I was not a huge fan of that. Everyone else in the movie was awesome. The way that they were able to get the animals to come alive was brilliant. I have never seen CGI animals that look that good, especially when they're acting against humans. Granted, it was mostly just the one. It was mostly just Mowgli, but wow, they looked real. I don't know what tricks they used. I know that the Jim Henson Creature Shop actually built puppets for Neil to act against. That's the little boy who played Mowgli. So I'm sure that helped with his acting, but I don't know how much that would have actually helped with the animation itself. But yeah, overall, I quite enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. I feel like it is unnecessary, and I probably will never see it again. I'm just going to stick with the cartoon version and stick with the other live action version that I personally enjoy more. But if you were looking forward to this movie, if you don't have my little hangups that are probably kind of silly and don't really matter, because I should just accept the fact that they are making live actions of all of these classic Disney movies, it's inevitable. I should just go in and enjoy them, and maybe I'll get to that point once we've had a few more. But if you were looking forward to it, I'm sure you will enjoy it. It is a really great movie overall. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, general abuse, all of that, throw it down in the comments. Please tell me how wrong I am about Christopher Walken, or maybe make me feel like I'm not crazy, because I feel like everybody loves him and I'm the only person on the planet that is not a huge fan of him. So if you are the other crazy person on the planet that actually doesn't like him, please let me know. All right, I will see you guys soon for another review. Bye.